let's get a quick take on this last one. The prosecution, the Aurora Theater trial, plans to rest its case today, with the defense planning to complete its case by early July. At issue today are the limitations on the testimony that the defense is pushing for regarding the prosecution's final witness. Natasha, A, I'm surprised that we're already seeing the close of the prosecution case, and B, the story behind this final witness, and we more jurors were excused this week. What'd you make of the events?
Well, certainly there's been so much drama in this trial for obvious reasons. The limitation on the, in particular, it was the photo of the young girl who died. It's only going to be shown for 3 seconds. And there are questions and concerns about the emotional impact that seeing that victim's face could have on a jury. Legally, I think it's a very interesting question in how juries react to things and why these decisions are made. But in many ways, what's happened so far in the trial is only just the beginning. When we see this next phase of the trial is where we're going to see the legal questions of his criminal insanity, whether he was criminally insane at the time of the crime or not. That's where a lot of the meat of what's going to happen starts, but it's not going to be as dramatic as the testimony that we've seen up until this point. So still a lot of trial ahead of us.
Patty, what do you think?
And fortunately, enough jurors that it looks like we're going to be okay unless the rate of dismissals come up faster. You know, you can see why the prosecution is using this woman as the last testifier, because her story is so horrifying. Lost her 6-year-old daughter, who will be shown for 3 seconds. You know, if they wanted to show it for 30 seconds, that's the reality of what happened at the Aurora Theater that day. She also lost her unborn child, so you can see the drama of that. But the fact is, this was an incredibly dramatic crime, and if I were the prosecutor, I'd probably end it that way too.
David, was Judge Carlos Samore fair in how he ruled in just 3 seconds of the picture?
No, I think it was unfair to the prosecution, but he was being prudently cautious in saying, I'm going to err on the side of the defense most of the time, because I know there's going to be appeals, and so I want to make sure that this is ironclad and give them as little to appeal as possible should the jury bring in a conviction and a capital sentence. The big thing for the defense is going to be their psychiatrist. We've had 2 psychiatrists who testified and said, yeah, this guy is mentally ill, no question. B, he's definitely not malingering. He's not faking it. But C, he is not legally insane as defined in Colorado. And I think that the whole defense case comes down to their psychiatrist who's going to argue the other way.
Penn, wrap it up for us.
I agree with David. I think the judge is being very cautious. He doesn't want to create reversible error. And I think the prosecution didn't push but so hard because they don't want to create a record with reversible error. The key to this case, I think, is going to be the defense and how the defense's experts testify. We have to remember, guilt is not the question here, or culpability. The question is what's the punishment and the penalty that should be imposed. And so the prosecution is going to have to think long and hard about how they deal with the defense presentation of their case in light of the fact that they don't want to create reversible error, and they're seeking a capital penalty here. So it'll be fascinating to watch.